Okay, I'm going to introduce myself. Hey, this is my presentation about my year in the Makerspace program, and I was trying to figure out a way that I could like describe my year, and it's kind of going to go by month to month and also season to season, if you can kind of follow that. Okay, so let's continue. Oh, before I forget, um, Domino, the black and white tuxedo, is my 13-year-old cat, and Daisy Lee, the orange tabby, is my 11-year-old. And always when I'm presenting, one of them is either at my feet or one of them is sitting on my lap or either trying to jump on the keyboard. Do we all have that, experience with our animals? The Jefferson Library is a library that is 6th through 8th grade, and we welcome everyone. I have a very large LGBTQ plus population, and I am an ally. So Jefferson is located in Southwest DC, and what you're going to see today is many of the things and projects that you're going to see today. Um, I don't receive funding from my district for the Makerspace program. However, I have the space, and I knew when my school was remodeled, if I didn't use the space, it was going to be given to a classroom teacher. So I made the decision, hey, what I'm going to have to do is just write off stuff on my taxes, and I'm going to have to use donors choose like Ebony Henry, one of our previous presenters, and just do the best that I can with keeping this program up and alive. So this is the Makerspace Lab. I have a really interesting library setup. One side of the hallway at Jefferson is the entire library media center. It encompasses the library lobby, which is pretty dope. I have a lot of space to do a lot of displays. I have a fiction room, a nonfiction room, bathroom. I have an office, a conference room, and then I have this full makerspace that you see here with the high tables, and the kids, just enjoy themselves coming in. It's, as they say, it's the place where they love to come and hang out on a regular basis. But when you come into my area, especially you hit the lobby area, I believe in using mannequins. I just developed this idea of using mannequins when I was in Chicago. Mannequins are really easy to use. You can find them on um, Amazon, but I was fortunate to receive the majority of my mannequins from a boutique that was closing in Chicago, and the owner sold me the mannequins for like dirt cheap. So with every type of program or event that's taking place, I always place something on the mannequin that represents that season or that theme or that reading challenge. And believe it or not, see the little beads around the waist of the mannequin. My Many of my students are from West Africa, so West African women oftentimes wear waist beads. So the kids mimicked the waist beads by using pony beads, and they put the beads around the skirt. I mean around the waist, to represent their heritage. So the kids love dressing these mannequins every single month. It is so hilarious. But there's some people that don't particularly care for what I do. And you know what? I don't care. I've gotten to the point, this is my 26th year. I don't really give a blip what you think about my program. I just go on and mind my own business. But at the same time, this is what my bottom line is.
That. I need some water and my check. And that's all I need, honey. I show up, I do what you ask me to do, and goodbye. Because I don't need any of that. I need some water and my check. And that's all I need, honey. I show up, I do what you ask me to do, and goodbye. Because I don't need any of that.
So I really don't. I don't need to hear your opinion. I am not. in charge of your opinion of me, and I really don't care. My goal is to be here for these kids and to give them what they want. And because the parents are happy, the principal's happy, I can care what my coworker's saying because I don't go into their classroom and tell them what to do. All right, let me get off my stool for a minute. I know y'all hollering, but I'll play a Nene Leaks video in a minute. So I will say this, the DEMCO planner really has been my lifeline because it gave me so many ideas. It helped me be more much more organized throughout the year. And also it helped me come up with other ideas. And so for the past 2 years, since I've been using this DEMCO library planner, my library circulation has jumped, and we have checked out over 10,000 books, and we only have 400 kids in our school. So it just goes to show you when you get a little more organized, and like S. Michelle Nick Echoes was saying, how she was always, doing a lot of journaling. I was doing my own kind of journaling in the library planner, but it helped me. Has everything been successful? No, it hasn't. That karaoke party and that battle of the reading advisories, that was a big epic fail. So just because you see it looks pretty and the poster looks nice, sometimes things just don't work out the way that they do. But guess what? You have to keep moving forward, because if you don't, you're going to get extremely frustrated, and it makes no sense for you to frustrate yourself. So Halloween comes around, the kids love Halloween. I have kids that go out and decorate that mannequin. I get out the way and I say, kids, here's your supplies, have at it. In fact, just like Ebony was talking about in her presentation, I need to go to the Dollar Tree and just go stock up on these $1.25 decorations for the library program for Halloween. So on my Cricut in the center, you could cut out these little spider and Batman bats and everything, and you could put candy in it. And that's a little gift that you can give to the teacher saying Happy Halloween from the JA Makerspace program, or in my case, the Makerspace Club. Same thing. You're trying to get kids into sublimation, teaching them how they could take a simple vinyl patch or a cloth patch and put in iron vinyl onto it. We made boo patches, and all the kids need this. They need something practical like this, which is a pouch to keep all their million and one things that they have, right? But they need that. So we also did Day of the Dead celebrations. This is a little loud, but question, did you hear that? Steve, can you unmute? Did you hear that? No. Okay.
Nope, sorry.
You didn't hear it, right? Okay. That was my fault. Let me stop and restart this again.
I do that all the time when I'm doing Zoom shares. I always forget to check that box that says share system sound.
Yeah, especially for me. I'm sitting here doing this and I forgot. Oh, goodness sake. There it is. All right. All right. Let's try that again one more time. All right. Tell me if you hear this. Let me know, Steve.
There we go.
All right. So this is an example of the kids making a mask. I was able to get a small order through, believe it or not, donors choose through one of their vendors, and the kids made masks for Day of the Dead, and they were put on display. And I have 7th graders that are going to be 8th graders, and I told you be ready to laugh during this session, right? I have kids that are old souls. Here they are singing to Hotel California. These are 7th graders. Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place. They are really hands, they're big, big hands. So here's another activity that they were doing for around the Halloween, which was a pumpkin decorating contest. They really got into this. They did it by grade level. It was a big fight, but guess who won? Homer Simpson. And of course, we use Canva to, create different advertisements, to get kids to come down and participate in different programs during the makerspace period, during lunch period. So let's go on to the next page. There we go. All right. Here you see some examples in the fall of things that the kids were doing. And this is when my custodian had to sit me down and have a conversation with me. So you see, I purchased a lot of items from Temu, and you can get these huge numbers of markers from Temu, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And also getting, paint and everything and supplies and wood supplies from Temu. Well, what I didn't realize is that the markers bled through to my blonde wood tables. So as a result of that, I tore up one set of tables really, really bad. And he was like, I don't know if I can get this out. I need you to kind of be careful. But I got so busy during the school year with all these different activities, I didn't pay much attention to him. And I'll tell you what happens a little later on. You can see that perler beads are still very popular in my library. That Homer Simpson, he's about 2 feet tall. So the kids can really, really, really work quickly with putting perler bead activities together, and they just love it. So all these items that you see on the page were purchased from Temu, the even the perler beads and the wood pieces, very inexpensive. When I went back and looked at Amazon and compared the prices, Temu still came out ahead. Now, here's another TikTok video where the kids and I ventured into making koozie cups holders. So take a listen. Hello there. I'm going to show you how my students and I made some bottle koozies using a Cricut and the heat press. As you can see, I opened up my Cricut design space and I typed in the child's name. We just used the basic font because my students are still learning how to weed vinyl. We then selected the size and the style of the font, and then we resized it on the virtual mat in Design Space. Now look, y'all, I purchased these koozies from Temu's website, not the app, so don't come for me in the comments. As you can see, Jordan is using the Teflon paper as a barrier between the koozie and also the heat transfer vinyl. We just did that to make sure that we didn't scorch the actual material for the koozie. And here you see him gently pulling back the transfer tape, and here's the finished product. The most time you will spend with this project is having the students deciding the color of their vinyl and also weeding the actual design. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye now. Now, what's interesting about that, starting off teaching kids sublimation, doing heat transfers, is that you learn very quickly which kids like to weed, which kids don't like to weed, which kids like to iron, which kids like to do the press onto like the keychains that you see there, doing a simple transfer with transfer tape. So all kids that participate in any of these sublimation projects, they have a role, and they love it when they come in and they're like, you have something for me to weed? And they will sit there and just weed, weed, and weed. Now, remember I said everything I do is not perfect and it is not successful. Here it was an epic fail. We thought we were doing the right thing by making these eye pillows, and it turned out to be a real big mess. And the library had a certain scent for 2 weeks. Watch. You've seen them all over the internet, therapeutic eye pillows, and the Makerspace Club decided to make them too. We're making our eye pillows with lavender essential oils because they help with anxiety and stress relief. So the first thing we did was we logged on to Cricut Design Space, found an image that we could easily send to our Cricut machine. Then we changed our blade, and then we sent it to cut the fabric. Once cut, we clipped all of the pieces together, and then we had the students sew around the edges, leaving a little opening. We then filled the eye pillows with rice that had been mixed with lavender essential oils. Please note, lavender is very potent. Use sparingly. My coworker Kelly did a simple demonstration showing the kids how to sew, and many of them for the very first time. I'm so proud of my students. They really enjoyed this activity and they did an excellent job. Our hope is we will be able to give our teachers these gifts during the months of April and May when it gets really tough at school. I hope you enjoyed this video. That's all for now. Take care. Bye now. This didn't work out too well because the rice was all over the floor, and the oil got spilled on the floor. And this is when my custodian had a second long conversation with me and said, look, something's got to give. But then, because I have a illness and I suffer from levels of fatigue, I just got to the point where I just was not cleaning on a regular basis. And then that's when my custodian told his foreman. So this is an example of me being tired and pitiful. And this on the left-hand side, this is what's called the giving tree. My Makerspace Club will get together and we will purchase, usually from the Dollar Tree, scarves, gloves, hats, for kids that forget to bring or who don't have gloves, scarves, or hats, or they lose them. We always say, go down to the giving tree and go get it. This is really a real popular activity around Christmas, but it takes a lot to keep it restocked. So, a Singer is a good sewing machine for the Makerspace program. It really is durable. So here's an example of me being tired. I have a question for all you school librarians. Have you ever left your library or your makerspace a complete hot mess at the end of the workday? Well, I have, and I've been doing it lately. I've just been so tired, I don't even have the energy to get the kids to clean up. Spring break is coming up. I got to get back on the good foot. So Friday morning when I came in, I set the example of what I expect out of my students, and here it is. Hang in there, y'all. So an intervention was scheduled between me, my custodian, and the foreman in terms of, boy, you're going to have to do better with getting these kids to keep the library space and you keeping the library space together. But one of the positives is that when you have a dedicated room for your maker space, you can't keep it a little messy, but I know that I'm supposed to clean up, but it's just not happening because I'm tired and we're doing a lot. So now we're moving into the first of the year, Black History Month. We did a scavenger hunt. We're going to run about 5 minutes over for my next presenter, Deb. So just stay tuned. We did a scavenger hunt, not only for Black History Month, but for Women's History Month. And of course, the mannequin in the lobby got a new t-shirt and was changed. My family is from Louisiana. My father is a New Orleans Creole, so I had to celebrate what? New Orleans Mardi Gras, and that's what we did this year. So during lunch periods, the kids came down, they were able to eat king cake, they received beads. My Makerspace Club cut out Mardi Gras crowns, using a real heavy, shiny contact paper. And we made crowns. We just had a good time, and that was Mardi Gras. And of course, we have a Mardi Gras poncho to celebrate the season. Um, we also had a Valentine's Day tree. Kids put all that up. I stay out the way. I put the supplies down in the middle of the room. And between the kids that come in during lunch periods and the kids that come in for Wednesdays after school for my Makerspace Club, they are responsible for decorating. Now, oh, I'm missing a piece here, but we're going to keep going. Now we're moving into spring. The kids made uh cherry blossom trees, because cherry blossoms are a big part of the DMV area, in particular when you're in the downtown DC area. Of course, this is the time when Beyonce released her latest album. So we moved from 70s music to listening to a lot of Beyonce, the clean version, in the library program. So kids love it when you play a lot of their music. So Beyonce was the rave, and guess what? That's what we did. So around this time, we started getting into painting rainbows. These rainbow clouds came from Temu as well. They came in bulk. This is something that I'm getting into that I absolutely love, which is these silicone beads that are either 12 millimeter or 15 millimeter. Love them. They make great keychains. They also make great bracelets as well, and you'll see some bracelets later in the presentation, which is a lot of fun. But then I started having a problem with students not cleaning up, and I had to have an intervention. And so this is my thing. I have this phrase now I've adopted from Nene, which is, I said what I said, and I mean it. Clean up. If you don't want to clean up, then you know what? You can't come in here and participate and have a good time. And some of the kids kind of had a hard time with that concept, but then I had to make them understand that, listen, this is half the time is my dime paying for this stuff. The school's not paying for it. So what I say, go. And one of them even went over my head to the principal, and principal was like, listen, that's Miss Boyd's program. You have to abide by everything that she's saying. So now we're moving into testing season, which drives me nuts. It should drive you nuts too. And you have to fight with kids, because with these tests that the kids are taking, they cannot jump on anything online after they finish taking the test. What do they have to do? Sit and read. But see, some of the kids are like, I want to get on Canva. I'm like, you cannot get on Canva and read an ebook. You have to get a print book. And so I have to deal with a lot of kids who want to get the last word with me. And here's an example of a kid that wants the last word.
Okay, that's all well and good, but let me tell y'all something. If you don't go over there and find you some books to read, you can't even look. You can't get online. You can't play. You can't do. You can't even go tweedly tweedly tweedly. When testing is over, the only thing you can do is read. You can't even get on Sora. Go get a print book so you can have something to read after the test is over, and you're not going to be aggravating your teacher. Go.
And as usual, you always have one that wants to get the last word in, as you can kind of hear. But you just have to keep being patient with these kids, because you try and tell them, but they still want to do what they want to do. Now, by this time, testing is over, and I'm dancing for joy. This is the dance that I do every year. I do that dance every year when they take all their testing crap out of my library. It drives me nuts every year. They even used the Makerspace this year to test, and it drove me absolutely crazy. So I was like just ready to just scream when it was over. So like I said earlier,
Sometimes we do make
mistakes. I have messed up kids' projects before. This is example. I messed up this child's Washington National logo that he was making for, believe it or not, a necklace. It was really huge, but I messed it up. Messed it up.
Projects, and I really felt bad about this one. This was a Washington Nationals logo that my students made, and I had to have them come back and complete it. But this is the first one that they did, and I screwed it up. But I'll get better.
And sometimes that's what happens when, you know, you're helping kids with projects and you end up messing up their project. And I feel so bad after I have done that. Whew, okay. Let's see if I can go through these last couple of slides real quick. As I said earlier, you know, some programs are just not successful. This was one of them. It just was not successful. This one here, you know, the school library struggle bus is very real with me. Sometimes I'm just late behind the 8 ball getting some things done. Even though my library is open and the kids are in there, I'm trying to work on projects. Sometimes I'm just not able to get it all done. Moving on. Now we're at Mother's Day. The kids made some Mother's Day shirts and everything, and tote bags. Those tote bags, either on Temu or either on Amazon, you could buy them in bulk in variety of colors. You can save a lot of money. It helps out when you're doing sublimation. Same thing. Amazon sells the Gildan shirts very cheaply online in bulk, and because you're getting youth sizes, you really do get over much better. And I trust the shipping on it too. Promoting the summer reading program, because my health was getting bad towards the end of the school year. I stayed in the makerspace and I used the Microsoft Teams, and I talked to each classroom. And I mute yourself.
So
Mute
brown
yourself,
ones is what? Honey Nut Cheerios?
No,
you
the
mute
brown one is
yourself, please?
crackling oak brand.
Okay. Oh, so Kaya decides go grow. Oh,
And the
you
white
grow so
one,
bad.
and the
I'm
white
sorry,
one is
excuse
Cheerios.
me, y'all. I'm about to put this person out.
So because white ones are not tasty. I
Mhm.
don't blame you, Kaya.
Sorry about that, y'all. I have to put them out. All right, because I said what I said and I meant it earlier. All right, so moving on. Here's the summer reading program, right? And I just promoted it. I had when I had winners, I said, come down to the library, come pick up your prize. What's the prize? T-shirt, jewelry, or a book bag. They had a choice. This was a walking advertisement to promote the summer reading program. My Makerspace Club did an excellent job this year. So this was their end of the year activity. They had an in-school field trip. They received some customized book bags, some of them Ankara fabrics, some of them were just sublimation. You know, I made all these items for them, and then they spent the entire day with me. June 17th is really a big holiday across the country, but even more so in DC. So we had a Juneteenth celebration, and some of those Juneteenth bags, I gave them to a couple of supporting parents. That sublimation was made off of, was sold through Temu, the Juneteenth Blackity Black and Stepping into Juneteenth. I didn't make that. I bought it off of Temu, and then it was like $1.50, and then just put them on the t-shirts and the bags, and I was done. So it has been a year in the Library Media Center for JA readers, but it's been even a greater year in the makerspace. I figured out a way to make this work so that kids can be happy and kids could be involved. You would never know which kids had behavior problems, were kids who had anxiety, that were depressed, that had contemplated suicide, or LGBTQ, you know, or special ed. You couldn't tell when those kids came in because they were all getting along and they were working together. And you all know how to find me, okay? Y'all know how to find me anyway, but I'm just putting it up there for the sake of the presentation. Okay, we are 8 minutes or over time. I'm going to stop sharing. And did I record this?